Good morning. I'm looking a little bit rough this morning, which doesn't surprise me. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you know that I had a wedding on the weekend in Victoria. It was one of my best mates and it was pretty rowdy. I am now in the west of Victoria near the Grampians. You might actually be able to see them over my shoulder. If you're wondering why Occy is on leash, I know that's a rare sight. There was a meeting of kangaroos when we pulled into this beautiful free camp last night. When the kangaroos run, Occy gets a little bit tempted to chase them. So the plan for the next few days, I know I've been yo-yoing state to state, and that's actually going to continue because we are heading into South Australia, and there's two spots that I cannot wait to take all of you, but also to take me and Ock, or Ock and I. This is going to be the first real test of the off-grid capabilities of my van. It's the most remote I'll be going, and so yeah, I'm really excited to see how that goes, how the van holds up. Now I think it's time for maybe coffee and a shower.
So now we climb, all we do is climb, and we'll just keep on climbing until the day we die, until the day that we die.
What do you think, Ock?
Until the day that we die.
Upon a friend's recommendation, we have stopped off at a quick pit stop, and this is literally just off the highway, and it is called Pink Lake. Occy discovered very quickly there's no water in here, and wow. It's giving me very Bolivian vibes. It's just missing the pink flamingos.
Oh, how they make us pay when we do not walk their way. With the hands in my pocket and the number by my name, and the war is on the way. The war is on the way. You got another thing coming.
Whew. Well, we are about 6 hours into the drive onto, I think, number 10 snack on the hummus now. And it is actually heating up. It's almost 28 degrees. We're a couple of hours off Adelaide, and I think we're just going to shoot through and still go another probably 4 or 5 hours today. So Occy's been an absolute trooper. I want to wake up in paradise tomorrow.
So won't you come and vouch for me? I've been working overtime. Oh, remember me.
Good morning. It's 6:30 a.m. We made it to Port Augusta last night, so we didn't make it the whole way. But this also happens to be the last chance to fill all our water. So I'm taking the opportunity to fill the tanks because it gets pretty desert-like where we're heading. And if you don't know, the van can hold 200 litres of fresh water. So that is over double what I had in the last van. And I'm really excited to see how long I can make that last. I actually just had a quick shower just to try and help conserve that water. So I had a shower, now the tanks are full and it's time to go. So I'm currently pulled over on the side of the road and I'm looking at the entrance to this campsite, a campsite that I've realized I've driven over half the width of Australia to get to. And I haven't been here in 10 years, but it was my favorite campsite I've ever been to in Australia. And I'm really now just hoping it can live up to that hype. Let's go have a look.
I won't climb, no, this ladder to the top to see how high it goes.
This place is insanity.
I said all my life, patiently, I've been putting in the time, grinding my teeth.
What do you think, boss? I should probably buy some leveling blocks. Well, shit. There would be 100 campers, I reckon, here. I actually struggled to get a spot, hence having to use the rocks. However, yeah, when I was here, true, it was almost 10 years ago, and Occy was only 3 months old when I was here last time. But there was us, our group, and one other camper in the whole place, and now I've struggled to get a park. But that's all right. Tomorrow morning is the only morning that the winds are looking good for the surf. So I'm keen to surf here tomorrow morning, hopefully have a cracker of a morning, and then move on, because now that I've gone the furthest, I'll go west. I'm going to start slowly making my way back east, because I've got a plan for somewhere I need to be next week, and which was part of the reason for this whole trip to begin with. And really, can't complain about this weather. It is absolutely beautiful. Just for reference, we're at about 30 degrees at the moment, and I think tomorrow is going to be a bit of a scorcher. We're looking at around 37 degrees. And as you can tell, Occy's really struggling with it at the moment. I'm keen to take Occy for a walk on the beach and check that out, although I don't really want to interrupt his nap right now. But whilst I'm in here, I realized that since really building out the van, I haven't talked to any of you about how the electrical system's been going. Yes, I know I still need to get some stays for these overheads. I just tend to do this and hold it up with my head, and it kind of works fine. But a lot of you will remember this was a big effort for me to put in. It took a long time, and it was a lot of sorting out, but it has been so good. So as you can see up the top, this, my Red Arc battery manager, it is 100% and maintaining charge. And I can scroll down and see that I'm getting 19.6 volts from solar at the moment. So my battery's getting 0.5 amps. I'm getting 9 amps in. I'm using 8. That's probably because my fridge is on. And I know at the moment I've just been driving so much, so it's likely to be really high state of charge. But even if I was to stay here for days, the lowest I've seen my battery level go down to so far, and it was after a few cloudy days, it went down to 69%. So considering it can go down to 20%, I've barely skimmed the surface, which is one of the reasons I got a certain upgrade that I'll show you a little bit later. Figured I spent enough time sitting down today, better earn my dinner. Car knock. Stay, buddy. Occy, stay. You sure you should be on the bed there, Sandy boy? Okay, good night. Good morning. I had an absolute ripper sleep in here last night. Those good old desert temps where it cools off overnight. It was just so nice to be in here, and I have to say, I definitely feel a bit spoilt when, you know, you're looking around at just people in normal tents and stuff, and then I'm in this luxurious camper. Unfortunately, the surf has dropped off this morning, so there's not really much going on out there. Occy and I are going to have a little explore, and then we have another campsite we want to try out just a little bit back south that our friend has recommended that is supposed to be absolutely perfect. So we're going to head that way, hope for waves, some wildlife, and otherwise kick back on the beach. Look at you, how quickly you have become a desert dog. Well, this is looking to be the very first off-road sand test that I've had for the van. Can she make it? Well, that was way too much fun. I just know I'm going to be one of those idiots that needs to be helped out because I'm going to push it a little bit too far one day. Woo. Well, we decided before we left this spot we had to explore the dunes, and sorry, the audio is probably terrible. It's crazy to think that the last sand dunes Occy and I were on that were like this were in Peru. I mean, that it almost feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah, you can be in it, mate. We are almost at the next spot, and it is an absolute cracker of a day. If anything, it's on the hot side, so Occy and I are looking forward for another swim. However, the road is, for the foreseeable future until we get there, is a corrugated dirt road, and this van is really feeling the corrugations. I've set up a camera in the back so you can see what it's like as we go over the bumps. I think the key, I'm just going to have to go, I know people talk about a sweet spot when you're going over corrugated roads, but I think really I'm just going to have to go nice and slow, otherwise I'm going to blow out a tyre or my suspension or my cabinetry. Well, it's official, we have made it to paradise. Our door number 1. And for door number 2. And considering the drive in here, not only the fact that those corrugations were rough and went for about an hour, but I also may have pushed a little bit past the 2-wheel drive zone, and it was a bit hairy making it this far, to the point that I'm concerned about leaving. So I think that means this is where we're going to be for the next few days. And I am starving because it did take longer than expected, so we haven't had lunch yet, but beforehand, I think both Occy and I deserve a swim. All right, buddy. Let's do it. Come on.
You don't have to be perfect. Broken bones are worth their weight in gold. They prove you're alive. No fears or regrets. Just take the jump and hold your breath. It feels good to be alive. Trip, get up again. Here we go, we're ascending. I feel so alive. I feel so alive. I feel the blood rush through my veins. I can take on the world when you're next to me. And I feel so alive. I feel so alive.
I tell you what, you forget all about the long drives when you get to a place like this. A lot of blood, sweat and tears went into that build, as a lot of you know. And this is one of the reasons that makes it all worthwhile, is getting to a spot like this where there's no hotels, there's absolutely nothing built up, but I can live here off grid up to 2 or 3 weeks if I stocked up properly, and I don't need anything else. All right, enough of me getting emotional about it. Now, I'm sure a lot of you were quite happy not to have seen a repeat of the skinny dipping this week with the beach. And I want to say, in terms of that last video, for starters, Jules, I mean, wow, yes, I thought she was amazing. I'm so glad that you all thought the same thing, but also you were just so kind in the comments, both to her and I. And so I want to say a huge thank you for all of that. If you're worried about Jules not being in this video, about whether she's going to be in future videos, we have plans. Jules and I will be seeing each other again soon. So yeah, I won't say more about it now because I don't want to give anything away. However, also in regards to Jules, quite a few of you lent towards Jules's van being better than my van in the video comments. I told you I wouldn't take it to heart. I have tried not to. It has fast forwarded a few upgrades occurring in my van because I thought, you know, let's even the score a little. The very first and easiest one I got, and to be honest was a very easy sell for me, was my very own air fryer. It's actually the exact same models Jules had. Probably should have one-upped her and got a slightly bigger or better one. However, this works really well. It's 50 bucks. I was sold on it so easy. I actually think they're a great feature for mobile living. If you've chosen a van layout without an oven, which a lot of people do because ovens take up quite a lot of space, then this really opens up quite a few meals that, like, I would have loved to have this when we were traveling overseas, you know, all the way from Canada to South America, because we were really restricted to meals you could cook in a fry pan, whereas I'm sounding like an air fryer salesman. I paid for this. This was from Kmart. It was 50 bucks. I just really like it so far. So thank you all those that told me to go for it. I'm going to cook up some gems. And whilst those bad boys are cooking, I want to say a huge thank you to the actual sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community filled with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. If you want to learn a new skill, but also if you want to just develop a skill you currently got, the videos on Skillshare are awesome because they're all in one place. There's no ads, and I feel like you can go through it. Like some of the courses I choose, you can go through the whole course in an hour. One that I recently did that really helped me was called DIY Cinematography, How to Make Your Video Look Like a Movie. It's by Ryan Booth, and I really admire Ryan, so I was glad to see his stuff on there. And his concept in that was all about, rather than adding light, like you can see here, it's a very light clip. It was about taking away light to make it look more cinematic. I tried some of his concepts in the last video. I'll put the clips up here. And I was really excited to see in the comments section that a few people said they really liked it and that they were impressed and wondering where I learned it from. Now you have the answer. If you are interested in giving Skillshare a go, they are offering the first 1,000 people to click the link at the top of the description a free trial of the Skillshare Premium membership. And then after that, it's only around 10 bucks a month. Absolute bargain. If you sign up, please let me know if you find any good courses because I'm always after more. All right. Let's check on these gems. Oh, mama. Hot, but perfect. Crispy on the outside, soft and tender on the inside. Did I mention Jules' van didn't have a slide out table? I mean, what's with that? I know.
Life is the fullest when you keep chasing down your dream. Oh, when the stars light up the sky, here we go to a new high. I feel so
So I'm trying to land the drone and I've got Occy prowling around like a piranha, waiting to strike as soon as I put it down. And I've decided the only safe area is to land it on top of the solar panel.
Landing. Critically low battery.
Whew. Well, it wasn't quite centimeter perfect. But it made it. And actually, while we're up here, Jules' van can't be the only one that can do this. Okay, maybe she's got me for now. It is a good lookout point though. Hey, crazy man. You can't get it up there, can ya? Now what's your plan? Yep, good one. Go, good idea. Go get a drink. You must be absolutely ravenous. And with this little gift, Occy and I say goodbye for another night.